Welcome back to Pathfinders, a hiking podcast with Brian. I'm Brian Hudson, and today we're dialing in step-by-step strategies to protect your joints for a pain-free hiking experience. Our guest is someone I'm lucky to have known for years. He's a mentor with an eye for movement and trail readiness. Please welcome Scott Peterson. We'll cover why knees, ankles, hips, and feet flare up, a 6 to 8 minute warm-up on trail mechanics that lower impact from the very first step, smart use of trekking poles, footwear and lacing, pack fit, strength and mobility between hikes, pain rules, and one simple technique you can apply on your next descent.
Thanks, Brian. I'm excited to be here. Joint comfort is a skill, not an accident. With a little preparation, cleaner mechanics, and sensible progression, most hikers can turn nagging pain into something manageable. Whether someone is a hiking pro on weekends or getting back after years away, the same levers move the needle. You need to wake up the right muscles, manage load, and make every step a little more forgiving.
Let's open with the hot spots. When hikers report patellofemoral ache or IT band tension in the knee, ankle sprains, a cranky hip from weak lateral control, or plantar fascia pain under the foot, they want to know what is driving that. And how do load, volume, and mechanics interact? Could you then share your quick pre-hike warm-up and activation focused on ankles and glutes in 6 to 8 minutes?
Trail pain is usually breaking and twisting stacked on under-prepared tissues. Knees flare when long strides land out front, pulling the kneecap sideways. Ankles roll when the foot hits an edge before muscles are ready. Hips ache when the gluteus medius is undertrained and the pelvis drops, letting the knee cave. Plantar fascia protests with tight calves, slipping heels, or cramped toes. Drivers are load spikes, big, vertical without recovery, and mechanics that magnify impact. Fix it before step 1. Go dynamic and specific. 30 seconds per side of ankle circles and calf pumps, 10 heel raises, 10 hip hinges, 8 walking lunges per leg with a gentle torso rotation, 10 mini squats with a pause, and 10 5-second single leg balances. If you have a band, add brief lateral walks. Skip long static stretches until after.
Clear, simple, and quick. Perfect trailhead routine. Once we're moving, technique can reduce or multiply forces. What on-trail cues should people adopt right away regarding cadence, stride length, landing under the center of mass, and maintaining soft knees? And walk us through your descending strategy so hikers stop leaning back and braking.
Increase cadence slightly and shorten the stride by about a shoe length. More steps with less reach place each landing nearer your center of mass, dropping braking on the knee. Keep soft knees so the legs act like springs and land under you with quiet, controlled contact. For descents, avoid leaning back and jamming heels. Tip the torso a little forward from the ankles, look 2 to 3 steps ahead, and cycle the legs quickly. On steep pitches, zigzag to reduce the effective grade. And when you can, plant the foot flat instead of perching on an edge. On loose rock, shorten further and think light, fast feet.
Those cues are gold, especially the quiet, under you landing. Trekking poles can share load when set well. How high should poles be on flats versus descents? How should hikers plant them relative to the feet? And when does the double plant make the most sense?
Set pole height so your elbow is about 90 degrees on flats to keep shoulders relaxed and load the straps. For descents, lengthen a notch or two so the tips meet the ground sooner. Plant slightly ahead and a bit outside the foot to form a stable triangle. On rolling terrain, use light rhythmic taps. Before a big step down, make a firm double plant slightly ahead, then step between the poles to offload the knees. On loose gravel, angle tips back a touch and keep a relaxed grip.
Great imagery on that triangle and double plant. Foot placement and scanning reduce stumbles before they start, and footwear can help or hinder. How far ahead should hikers scan? What does pre-tensioning the ankle look like? And what should folks seek in fit, cushioning, stability, drop, rock plate, lacing, socks, and insoles?
Scan 2 to 3 steps ahead, then glance down to confirm the next landing. Choose stable platforms, the inside edge of a rock or a dry dirt patch between roots. As you approach uneven rock, lightly pre-tension the ankle by engaging muscles on both sides of the lower leg so the joint is braced before contact, then relax as you push off. For shoes, aim for a secure heel, snug midfoot, and roomy toes. Match cushioning and stability to terrain and history. more cushion for long fire roads or heavy packs, more torsional stability for side hilling or frequent ankle rolls. If the Achilles is sensitive, a moderate heel-to-toe drop helps. On rocky trails, a 4-foot rock plate disperses sharp impacts. Use a heel lock for descents, wear moisture-wicking wool socks, and try aftermarket insoles if arch support or volume is tricky.
That is a masterclass in footwork and footwear. Packs are the next lever. How do you minimize weight without compromising safety? Fit the pack so hips carry most of the load, and place heavy items. And between hikes, what 2-day-per-week strength plan best builds tissue tolerance without flaring things up?
Go as light as practical for the mission. Water, layers, navigation, and safety stay. Extras get scrutinized. Fit the pack so the hip belt sits on the iliac crests and is snug. Use the sternum strap and load lifters to bring the top of the pack toward your spine. Place heavy items high and close to your back, centered. For strength, train 2 days per week. Step-ups or split squats, calf and tibialis raises, single-leg Romanian deadlifts, and side-lying leg lifts or band walks for the gluteus medius. Keep a rep or two in reserve and progress gradually.
You can feel the difference immediately when the hips are loaded and the legs are trained. Mobility and recovery keep that capacity. What mobility targets matter most? How do you like people to cool down after hikes? And when should hydration and electrolytes be emphasized to prevent cramps that alter gait and stress joints?
Prioritize ankle dorsiflexion and front of hip mobility. Calves and tissues at the front of the ankle often limit knee-forward travel, so gentle ankle rocks and calf stretches after hiking help. Hip flexors and quadriceps tighten on climbs. Brief lunge and quad stretches restore length. Cool down with 5 minutes of easy walking, then light rolling and 20 to 30-second holds. Comfortable, not painful. Hydration matters for cartilage and muscle function. Sip through the day, and on hot or long efforts, add electrolytes to replace sodium and other minerals. Cramps change stride and spike joint load, so start hydrated and pack enough fluid plus electrolytes for the conditions.
Great reminders that recovery is not punishment. On trail, people wonder when to push and when to pull the plug. Share your pain rules using a 0 to 10 scale, how terrain and weather affect joints and warm-ups, and your take on temporary bracing or taping for known trouble spots.
Use a simple rule set. Pain up to a 3 that warms up and does not alter stride is usually acceptable. If pain hits 4 or 5, changes how you move, or lingers beyond 48 hours, back off, reduce vertical, or end the hike. Sharp pain is a stop sign. Terrain matters. Softer dirt beats pavement. Off-camber side hilling increases ankle and knee torsion. In cold weather, extend the warm-up and start gently. Prioritize traction with good lugs or micro spikes. For known issues, a knee strap or light ankle taping on demanding days can help, but treat it as a bridge while you build capacity, not a crutch.
Love that clarity. Before we close, give listeners a 1-minute trailhead checklist so nothing gets missed, and then share the single actionable technique you want everyone to use on the very next descent, the pattern that protects knees and saves toes from smashing the front of the shoe.
Trailhead checklist. Warm-up complete, heel lock lacing set, pole-sized, hip belt snug, load lifters set, heavy items close to spine, traction checked, hydration and electrolytes packed, descent plan set. My actionable tip: on every descent use short step plus. Soft knee plus pole plant and shorten stride. Keep a gentle knee bend. Plant poles slightly ahead before each step.
That wraps today's episode. I want to thank Scott for being with us today and providing us with some great tips for protecting our joints while hiking. We covered causes, warm-ups, technique, poles, shoes, packs, strength, recovery, and pain rules. Actionable strategies to protect your joints. Use these tips on your next descent, reduce aches, and keep exploring with confidence. Until next week, happy hiking.